Hey guys, Will here. Welcome back to Modeling from the Ensign's Chair. It's a bit of a noisy day in my neighborhood today, so hopefully we can do this video without too much distraction. But last video I was working on wrapping up my nacelles here, and I've got everything done on it. All the lighting's done. It's ready. They're ready to be assembled, but I'm not putting those together yet, and the reason why I'll get to in a minute here. But I'm gonna go over a couple things with that, and in the meantime though, I've been working on the seam work on my secondary hull here and trying to finalize a few other things, tightening up this fantail section. So we'll take a look at that, and we'll see where we go from there. But give me a minute, put you on the table, we'll get to work. Alright guys, so like I was mentioning, I'm not quite ready to seal these up yet, and the reason for that is that Cass over at Lake Monster Models noticed that I was working on these, and I'm using the Lake Monster Models upgrade parts. And he told me, he said, hey, by the way, that part, this part here has been improved. He's made some improvements to it. So I've ordered some of these, the newer parts, a newer design to it, and apparently it's a little longer. But that should be in sometime this week, and we'll take a look at that and compare it to the older part. But this is the original. I think this is the original Don's Light and Magic part, and he's made an improvement to it and retired Don's mold. So when that comes in, we'll take a look at it, and I'll finally be able to get these nacelles sealed up. All the wiring's in place. I've just got to join some of this wiring together so I don't have as many wires running down the pylons, but working on that, but that'll be ready to go by the time those parts get here later on this week. And so in the meantime, since I'm kind of in a holding pattern on finishing up the nacelles and getting those sealed up, I've been working on a couple things. One thing is I've been working on my secondary hull, mainly on the tail fan section. I had forgotten. And this is the great thing about, and even if you don't use fiber optics a lot, these can get you out of a jam a lot of times. But what happened was I forgot there's supposed to be this light, and this is, and I don't know if this flashed later on, but I know in the motion picture this is a steady on light. And there's a little bit of light, let's see if I can point this, a little bit of light that projects forward from here, as well as just a light that just sits here on top of the oh, I forget if this is a beacon or what this is, but the light projects forward. So what I've done is, since I forgot to do it, what I did was I drilled a hole here, and I was able to work or snake that fiber optic down to where I could get to it from inside. And I did my usual hot glue the LED to it, and what I've got now is, I've got so many wires sticking out here, hopefully I can remember which one it is. Let's see. It's definitely one of these two here. Yep, that's to the blue light. And that's to the other blue light. Let's see which one we got here. There we go. So, as you can see, I've got that light, and there will be light projecting out the front there as well. I've got to open that up a little bit more. And then once I put some microcrystal clear in here, hopefully that'll help that project out the front there a little bit more. But anyway, that light's in place, so saved the day there. But I'd also forgotten my strobe light on the top here. But I did the same thing there, was able to snake some fiber optic down and get that in place, so that's all wired up. And same thing on the bottom here. There's another strobe down the bottom here that flashes, so I was able to get that fiber optic. I haven't put the LED to it yet. You can see the fiber optic's just kind of sticking up out here right now. So I'll get that done. And then my tail fan section, I've been kind of working on this because this part up here is way undersized. So what I did was I took some putty and filled this in because there's a big gap. There's a bit of a gap from the top of this green strawberry aftermarket part to the bottom of the where your red lights are up here. And so I filled that in with some putty, and I'm working on reshaping that. And I've got that up on my screen here. So get that reshaped, get those holes re-drilled. The red LEDs are already behind there, so all I gotta do is re-drill the holes after I get this shaped the way I need it to be. And I've worked on getting this kind of blended in. I've still got to do some more sanding here, but this back part where I put that embedded that SMD in, I've got that up here. Let's get that lit up. Yep. These wires are so small. All right. Let's take a look at that. Hopefully it's visible with the light on in here. But you can see if I can get that to stay on. Yeah, but you can see that LED, the way it's going to light up the back there where the Enterprise registry will be. It's a little bright. I'm hoping to tone that down with some paint. If not, the good thing about it is the resistors right here. So if I want to dim that down a little bit more, I'll just put a higher rated resistor on there. I think right now, I think this is like a 54,000 resistor, so I've already dimmed it down quite a bit, but if I need to take it down more, I can. I've got some higher rated resistors for that. That's a nice thing, you can play with resistors and get these lights to kind of dim down some if they're too bright. But once I get a coat of paint on here, we'll see what it looks like. And I got some more smoothing out to do here. And I've got some more seam work to do along the bottom here, and then this one up here. And then of course I gotta tighten that up. But that's what I'll be working on while I'm waiting for that other part to come in from Link Monster Models. And the other thing I wanted to go over is someone had asked what I was going to do as far as solving the issue of the drooping pylons that happen with this kit sometimes. And what I'm going to do is I pretty much the same thing that you've seen a lot of people do is I've taken a brass rod. I'm not sure what the diameter of this is because I've had it for a while, but you can get these at most of your hobby shops. Hobby Lobby has them, and they come in like a multi-pack. I'm not sure what size this one is, but it basically what I've done is I've run it down through the warp pylon, so it'll come out inside the secondary hull. And I'm going to do that to both sides. Now how I'm going to mate these together, I'm not sure yet. I'll probably get these worked out so they're touching each other, and once I get them in position, I'll either hot glue them or I'll use some, I could use some of my epoxy, just depends. There's a couple different ways I could get these to mate together, but I'll do that to both sides, and you can see that you probably can't really tell too much, but it's definitely sturdier than if you do it without something in there. I mean, it's just, let's get this together. If you just put this in there, I mean, it moves around all over the place. There's a lot of play in that. But with this brass rod in place, it's definitely a lot sturdier. So I think that's going to work out well. The only other thing I've got to take into consideration too is I've still got to run my wiring, which fortunately because it's magnet wire, it's not going to take up too much space. One thought was I could run it right down the hollow of the tube, but my concern there is if I do that and it chips the insulation off, that I'll get a ground and then I've got a problem. So I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm just going to run the wiring separately outside of the rod here. But that's how I'm going to work out the issue with these pylons having the problem with drooping. And it's the same thing a lot of people have done with them. I just might be doing a little bit different. What I had to do to get this to work out, you can see how tight that is. I had to drill a hole, open this up a little bit to get the rod to fit in there. And then inside the pylons, I had to trench these a little bit on both sides so you can see where that's trenched, and then that way the rod would just fit right in there. Of course, now I bent this out of shape, but rod would just fit in there, and then the parts would glue together. So that's how I'm going to do that, and so I'll be working on that a little bit too. But the main thing, like I said, was I'm going to work on these nacelles, and I'll do that on next week's video once I get these parts, the updated parts in, and we'll take a look at that. But it's just a short video this week. Like I said, I can't really get into what I want to get into with the nacelles, and it's just a lot of, right now, just a lot of cleanup, these seams and everything, and finalizing my lighting. I think pretty much all my lighting is now done and in place. Everything from the tenant controls kit is now in place, except for, like I said, I've got to put that one, I got to super glue, or not super glue, but hot glue that one bulb for this strobe down here. But other than that, all the tenant controls lighting is in place. All my wiring's done. I just got to join the wiring together, and we're getting near the finish line as far as once I get these subcomponents done, I'll do the painting, and then I'll combine all the components together. But I like to do the sub-assemblies first, and then assemble it, and then if I've got to do some touch-up, I'll do some touch-up. But we're getting close, so just check back in next week. If you find anything here useful, please hit that like button below. If you want to get the updates on this, hit the subscribe button. I appreciate everybody that's subscribed so far. Glad to see that some people are finding these videos helpful. Just keep sticking in there, keep working on your models. Don't worry about what other people say about your models. It's one thing I just want to point out this week. I've seen some people make some negative comments, and just don't worry about that. When this gets done, it's going to be done to where I'm happy with it, and I'm not too worried about what other people think about it. But that's it for this episode. Until next week, keep on modeling.